Thank you for joining me. I'd like to walk you through using Kronos as a casual employee for the Education Directorate. This is the desktop version of the training guide. When you log into Kronos, you'll use your username and password to log in. Your username will be your first name, space your second name, and your password will be issued to you by the Kronos team. For today's demonstration, I'm logging in as Iron Man. When Iron Man logs in, the first screen to display is the My timestamp. That's indicated here at the top left-hand corner, just underneath where it says that it's the Home tab and that you're an employee and you have the employee profile. You can see here in the middle of the screen, it says last timestamp and it says Wednesday the 24th of May at 4:43. What you're able to do when attending school, you can log on to a PC and then you can click on the record timestamp, and you should do this at the start and end of each of your bookings every day. So when you record that timestamp, and I'll just do it for here for demonstration purposes, it says that the out punch was accepted and the time that it's written to the server. This time here is Sydney, Canberra and Melbourne, as we're all on the same time zone. So that's all you need to do to register your attendance at the school site. Then at the end of your booking, you'll do exactly the same. You'll log into Kronos, then you'll record your timestamp here in the middle. We're going to take a look at your bookings now. So we're going to move across to the right-hand side and we're going to click on the My Calendar widget. When you click on that widget, it opens and it covers up the home screen by default. And what we're able to see here is that we've got the tab across, so we can go back in the pay period. But by default, it will load with the current day selected here with the orange dot. And that dot is indicative of today is the 24th of May. Over here on the right-hand side, we have what we call the time period drop-down. If you click on the time period drop-down, you're able to select predetermined time periods that you might want to view in your calendar. So if we wanted to go and look at the next pay period, we would simply select next pay period. And then Kronos display switches, and we're able to see from the 25th onwards for that pay period. This will happen each fortnight. So Kronos displays in pay period time frames, unless you change it to a schedule period, and then you'll get a 28-day period. You're also able to select a range of dates. So if we wanted to see this whole week in one view, we would choose the Sunday, the 21st, through until the Saturday, the 27th, and click apply. And what you're able to see then is all of the bookings, and I'll explain that in just a second, for that period of time. So I'm just going to change this back to the current pay period, and I'm going to use the navigation bar here to go back in the pay period to explain what these bookings mean. So what we're able to see on screen here is a booking here in blue. And this booking tells me that it's from 8:30 to 3:30, and it's at Aranda Primary School, and it's for a casual teacher. Now you might have noticed then when I hovered over the booking, it also has this little pop-up, and there's a comment in there that says EDU casual workforce. Please bring, I'll just navigate back there, please bring a hat and drink bottle. So booking officers at schools are able to put comments into the bookings to give you some relevant information for those bookings for the day. So an active booking where you're expected to arrive at the school is blue. This booking next to it, where it says cancelled by employee, this is where the employee has called in sick or they've cancelled their booking for whatever reason. And you can see that there, that we're also able to see a comment on that one. We'll just navigate back there. And this one, the comment here is that the person is sick and won't be attending their booking. Just going to navigate over to the next week, and we can also see some further information. So we've got the bookings here in blue, and the color at the back is for availability. I'll show you shortly how to add availability into your calendar, so schools will be able to see when you're available or unavailable. In Kronos, you're also able to select a single day. So if we just click on that, then by default, it's just headed to Sunday the 14th, and then we can just tab across to whichever day we would like. So that's a single day view. By default, we are viewing Kronos always in the week view, but we're also able to see it in the monthly view. And what you're displaying here will just be this current pay period. So if you wanted to see what you were doing for the whole of May, you would just change your date range here at the top, select the whole of May and click apply. And then you're able to see the bookings, the information about those bookings for the whole month or for the whole time period that you have selected. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to head back to the current pay period and change it back to the weekly view. We're going to have a look now at this tab here, which is called the Request Time Off tab. Now, this tab enables you to make requests for renewals or for providing a copy of your renewed Working with Vulnerable People card. We're using this as a hybrid functionality in Kronos at the moment, and we're unable to rename this, and so that's why it will be called the Request Time Off. But if you click on that, you'll get this pop up here, and although it says a request time off at the top, what you're able to do is you're able to submit a renewal of your registration here, and you're also able to submit a renewal of your Working with Vulnerable People card. So we're going to select a Working with Vulnerable People card renewal today. We can leave the dates as they are here in Kronos. We do not need to adjust them, and we do not need to adjust the accrual date at all. As I mentioned, we are using this as a hybrid. So what we're going to do is select a file. So if I navigate away from select files, you can see there that it's blue. And so when I click on that, it'll pop open to the settings on my computer, and I'm able to go into one of my drives, which I've prepared earlier, and I'm able to select the document that I want to. So just double clicking on that and then adding it in here. So I've already pre-saved this document, and then I click on submit. And Kronos then submits that and forwards that request through to the Education, People and Performance area. And if you would like to review that, then what you do is just navigate across to the day that you've done that on. So we did it today, the 24th. And what I'm able to do is click here on the actual request. It's a right mouse click on the request and view the details of the request. So you can see here, I can see the request. So it was submitted by Ironman, which is the profile that I've logged in. It's a renewal of Working with Vulnerable People. It shows what time I've submitted that renewal. And down the bottom here, I can view the document that I've attached should I want to. And then that's, like I said, flowed through to People and Performance for review and to update your Working with Vulnerable People expiry date in Kronos. The next tab that we will use today is the Create Change Availability Request tab. So we're just going to click on that one. And you can see here, as demonstrated before, there are some green items here which indicate that I am available to work on those days. So to change those or to set fresh ones, we might just navigate forward to the next pay period. And you can see that I've already done some bookings in here, so I might go a fair way ahead in the calendar just for a moment to demonstrate how to do this. So you can see here I've tabbed across to July. I can select the 2nd of July through until the 31st of July and click on Apply. So you can see in this period that I've got selected, there are no settings for availability at this stage. Here you can see this cell is double highlighted, and that's indicative of the date that we've got displayed here. So should I change that date to the 5th, the cell will jump across there, as you would have been able to see, and we can set availability based on that. So now just navigating down here to the second part. So I've selected the day that I wish to put my availability in, and we'll click on unknown, and I can make myself available or unavailable for that time. I'm going to select unavailable for this example, and then I'm going to click on apply. When I click on apply, the cell here that I have highlighted changes color, and it is now grayed out, indicating that I am unavailable. I'm also able to add some optional notes down the bottom here. If I wish to duplicate this through for the period I'm unavailable every Wednesday, just for the month of July, then I can click on the copy and paste, and then I'll click on the unavailable day, and then I can just paste that into the relevant days. So I'm just navigating through all of July here and making all of those days unavailable, as you can see. So now all of those days are unavailable. This day here isn't in July. This is the last day of July here. So that's why the last Wednesday isn't selecting. And then I'm going to click on submit. And I'll just jump forward, and I'll use the monthly view to demonstrate that the dates I have put in are for July. So just navigating across here using the same date range that I've marked the availability for. Go through to the 31st, click on apply, and then I can see that the availability request is here and it's approved. So just jumping back here to the weekly view, here I can see that every Wednesday is grayed out for the month of July, and I'm unable to work on those days. Now, should I wish to change that, I can just click on the request. So going back to the start of July here, where it said that this was the availability request, I can right mouse click and click on the details, and it will show me. So I can see what I've done there, and we can see it's approved and close. And if I want to change that, I'll just come back here to the availability, and then I can make myself as available and apply, and then I can copy and paste that in, or in fact over, any day that I wish to change. So you can see here, it's quite a simple process to first make yourself unavailable. And this would mean that you're indicating to schools that you do not wish to be called on those days. It won't stop schools from calling you, but it does give them an indication about when you are unavailable, and will be helping them to fill bookings. And then again, I can just click submit on that, and you can see here automatically those availabilities have dropped into the calendar. So what we've done there is we just did a renewal for working with vulnerable people, or a renewal of registration here, by using the request time off button. The other button that we used was the request change availability, and that's how we were able to set the availability. Moving back to the home screen now, what we want to do is we want to have a look at the in-out punches and the bookings that are in Kronos, and I'll just explain a few things about those. So I've navigated back to the home screen, and I'm just going to click and open the My Time Card widget. When opening that widget, by default, it will display in the current pay period, as you can see here in the top right-hand corner. And what we've got here are the in-out punches for this particular employee. And I just want to go through and explain what we can see here on the screen, and what's included, and what's going to be paid, and what's not going to be paid. It's also really important to note that casual employees are unable to edit or change their time card at all. So should you find an issue or an incorrect amount in your time card, then you'll need to contact the school booking officer to modify that punch for you. So what we've got here is the date. So that's the date of the shift or the booking that you have. We have the booking time here in Kronos. You can see that there's a little speech bubble here, there, and that's coming through from the My Calendar widget, where the school has popped a comment in there, and that's the same comment that we could see previously. Please bring a hat and drink bottle. Now, when Iron Man has arrived at school on this day, he's punched in at the start of the day, so that's the 8:30, so it matches the 8:30 start, and he's punched out at the end of the day, and so that's given him a 3:30 finish. Kronos records all time in 24-hour clock. So it tells me here that the total shift duration is 6 hours, and this person is a casual teacher, so they've worked 6 hours. So whatever your base amount is, Kronos will automatically calculate that from the shift minus the break that you've taken. Now, I just want to navigate down here to the bottom left-hand corner where we've got the totals tab, and it's showing at the moment all. If you click on that tab and choose the daily amount, what you're able to see is on any given day, the amount that Kronos has calculated that you will be paid. So what I can see down the bottom here is it's telling me the location of the booking, which I know is true from the booking and from the My Calendar widget. It's telling me the job that I've done on that particular day. So this job for Ironman is as a casual teacher. It's again telling me the school where the booking has been made, and it's telling me that this person is going to be paid casual base hours for 6 hours. So if you are working and you're expecting to get 5 hours or 6 hours for your booking, then if that's not reflected down here in the totals, then that amount won't be paid. The same thing applies for special education allowance and first aid allowance, where it's been applied or you've been told by the school Kronos officer that it's going to be applied to your shift. If you don't see that amount down the bottom here, you need to contact the school. On the next day, the Friday the 12th, if you remember back from the My Calendar, this day was a cancel by employee amount. So that's here in the time card, just showing that the shift has been cancelled. It's there for 6 hours, but you can see down the bottom here that there's no data to display. So Kronos isn't calculating that as a leave amount or anything like that. So it's just reflected here in the My Time card, just to give you an indication that that shift was cancelled. Moving down here now to Monday the 15th, what we've got here is a red marker. If you hover over that red marker, it will tell you that it's an unexcused absence. And then you could also see unexcused unauthorized absence in the pay code column. So when I click on that, down the bottom here, Kronos will tell me that it's an unauthorized absence. And what that means is, it means that I've got a booking in Kronos. What you might be able to see is this is actually a purple font. And that means that the employee, Ironman, did not punch in or out on that day. So he didn't punch on that particular day at all. So in this circumstance, Ironman would need to contact the school booking officer and say, hey, I forgot to punch on the 15th to the 5th. I was at the school. Can you please punch for me? And then the school booking officer will make those punches for Ironman. Just navigating down here a little bit further, and you can see that I've got an in and an out punch with this alert here. Now this alert is telling me that I've got unapproved hours. So if I just hover here, it'll say that I'm unscheduled. So what we're missing here is the school Kronos officer needs to put a booking into Kronos for you, and then those punch times will match the booking times. Now by default, if there is no schedule or no booking for you, then Kronos will not pay an amount and it will sit there as unapproved until the Kronos officer, the school's Kronos officer, has put the amount in for you. So it's really important that as you move through the fortnight, that you manage your bookings, that you review your time card, and that you bring to the attention of the school booking officer any issues that you have discovered with your time card. Then at the end of the fortnight, what you would need to do is switch the display period to be the previous pay period. So this will be done on Thursday morning, or it could be done after you punch out on the last Wednesday of the pay period. So you can see here, these are the punches that I've been making today through my demonstrations. So even these punches here won't have a value amount because there is no schedule to match. So to approve the time card, make sure you've got the correct period selected here. So it'll either be the previous pay period if you're approving on the Thursday, or it will be the current pay period if you're approving on the Wednesday after you've finished work. To approve your bookings, what you need to do is come over here to the Approve Bookings, Approve Time Card tab, and then you're able to click on Approve Time Card. When you do that, it changes the color of the time card to this yellow color. And that means to us that this is an employee approved time card, and then the school booking officer will come along and also add their approval. When the school booking officer adds their approval, that turns Kronos a shade of green. Unlike Sims, Kronos doesn't require you each fortnight to approve your bookings before the school can approve the bookings. So if your time card is picture perfect, there are no exceptions in the time card or no exceptions on your shifts, then the school can come in and they will approve your bookings at the same time, and that gets it set ready for payment. So if you forget to approve your bookings, the schools will come along each fortnight and approve them. Now, if you don't approve them by lunchtime on the Thursday of payday, then what will happen is the school will approve, and then people in performance, when they do their processing, they will actually sign them off and lock them, which means that any unauthorized absences or unapproved amounts that are present in the time card will be locked, and a historical correction will need to be required to be done. So if you accidentally approve it for the wrong time period, so let's just say I still had to punch out here tonight, or there was an issue in my time card and I've accidentally approved it and I didn't want to, I can come back here to the approved time card, click on that, and then remove the time card approval. So you can see there that it's the color of the time card is switched back, and then I'm able to make in-out punches. Just want to demonstrate here for a moment. If I approve my time card and then I try and punch for the period, it says that it cannot make changes in an approved time frame. So that means that you have approved your time card for the period. So you just need to come back into the My Time Card, click on Approve, and remove that time card approval. And then I'll just navigate back here to demonstrate. I can then record the timestamp, and you can see that it's recorded that I've come back. And Kronos thinks in this instance that I've taken a break just because of the short punch time turnaround. Thank you for joining me on this look at Kronos. Please let me know if you have any further questions. Thank you.